I recently got curious about stoves. I've been doing canister stoves ever since I've been doing camping stuff. This here is the Peak stove by Colman, not to be confused with the Snow Peak. This is the Colman Peak. It was cheap. I got it 15 years ago, maybe more. I've used it a lot since then. I like canisters. They're simple, they're easy. I'm not a through hiker, so the extra weight of stuff doesn't bother me. I do need my packs to be pretty small though, because I mainly do motorcycle camping, do some day hike stuff. But I didn't carry this with me when I went to the Buffalo to do some hammock camping. I'd heard about this little jewel. I'd ordered it probably 2 months before. It took at least a month for this thing to come in, but it is called a BRS 3000. There's reviews all over. I'm not going to get into all the functionality and testing of it, but the thing that struck me was how long it took for this thing to boil water using my Stanley cup. I've been doing this for 2 reasons. It packs nice. BRS fits in there like a jewel when it's all folded up in its little bag. I can still carry my coffee, that kind of thing. On the trail, I don't do a lot of cooking. I'm mainly worried about coffee in the morning. So that's my coffee making kit. So I took that, and I normally just carry 110 canisters with me, and they nested here really neat with all the other stuff that I got. Makes for a very compact kit on the little motorcycle that I ride, and I don't have to worry about pack space so much. The problem is that 110 canister didn't last me like it would if I would have on this. I thought of all different reasons why it might not have worked. So when I got onto YouTube and started looking around, I noticed what MacGyver was talking about. He did a test which included this little guy compared to about 3 other stoves, and it took twice as long to boil water as almost any other stove out there. So I decided that I needed to do that same test set up for myself so I know what to carry, because saving space and weight with this little guy compared to this big heavy pig here doesn't mean anything if I've got to carry those huge canisters or if I got to carry multiple small canisters. I've not saved any pack room. So here's what I did. I set these things up and I filled it up, which is normal for me, 12 ounces to make coffee with. That's my normal water fill for coffee. That works good for me. Whenever I'm doing Insta meals, when I need boiling water to cook those, the 12 ounces is all I ever really need. So I did that, and we started out with this jewel here. Both of these are uber cheap pieces for stoves. This one took 3 minutes and 5 seconds to boil 12 ounces of water in this. And then this little jewel here took over 5 minutes. It was 5 minutes and 2 seconds to be exact, to a rolling boil. So I realized that this thing is saving me some space, but it's taking me longer to cook my food. It's taking me longer to make my coffee. And chances are it's burning more fuel than this Colman piece. So I decided what would happen if I always carry this with me as well. It nests in here good. I've got a windbreak that slides in between these two here. It takes up the slack. What if I use this one? It's got a larger base on it, as you can see. And so there would be more flame to catch. On this piece here, when I'm cooking it with the Colman Peak, the front part of this handle gets hot because when it's sitting on here, the flames actually are wrapping all the way around the side of this. So this piece gets hotter than it does with the BRS. With the BRS, this never heats up. So we tried it with this larger base on there. And here's the results for that. This took 2 minutes and 30 seconds to boil 12 ounces of water here. So that saved me 35 seconds of time. But probably more important than that, it didn't take as much fuel to boil the water either. It also was, even with the BRS, this larger cup, which is fills up the BRS whenever it's unfolded. The BRS was also quite a bit quicker boiling water with that. I only have to guess that it's because the flame is touching more of the bottom of the cup. There's not such a column. Here is 12 ounces on this cup, and then on this one, 12 ounces is down in here. This fits on, and it just covers the edges of the BRS. So the BRS took 3 minutes and 35 seconds here. This is going to be a faster time for me to boil water with, and because of that, it's going to use a lot less fuel than using that Stanley cup, and the cup from the Stanley fits neatly on this. This is just an Ozark Trail, but a lot of people make that same size cup. So for me, the BRS, if I'm going to carry that and use it, I've really got to start boiling water in this. And with this handle set up, it's no problem. These handles do not heat up at all with this stove. They were cool to the touch the whole time. So it was easy to take this off, pour water wherever you want to pour water. But when I'm using this one with the Colman sitting on there, and that Colman's flames is belching up, I couldn't hardly take this off the Colman stove. These handles were so hot. So for me, this isn't even usable, boiling water with the Colman Peak. Only this guy here is. What I would like to do, and I guess I need to do, is probably get me one of the 750 milliliter pots, check this out again and see if maybe the efficiency even goes up higher with this. And with that 750 pot, it's so much bigger than the handle shouldn't get hot with the Colman Peak. I don't know if the BRS would do any better with that much more surface area on it. I think it's pretty maxed out with this one, but it'll be a neat test too. I would like to try that, but just for you guys out there that are into saving money like I am, you buy Stanley products, you buy Colman products, this BRS, I'd rather spend my money on my hammocks. Just so you know, if you're going to use the BRS stove, you really need something that is going to cover the bottom of it to make this little jewel a lot more efficient in boiling water than what you get with the Stanley. Thanks for tuning in. Just know that none of this would even come about if it wasn't for MacGyver and his channel he's got over in Oklahoma. Great guy to go watch. For me, nesting these two pots together, it really was not my brainchild. This came from the Goat Mumbler. It was a great idea that he had. I had no idea that this would have fit both of them, but that's a neat little cook kit mixed with the BRS stove. If you want the details on that and to see how all that works, go look at the Goat Mumbler site. He got all the details on that. Thanks guys for turning in. I just wanted to show you a little something I figured out on my last camping trip. Later. Hello. This is Augie Outdoors coming at you live. Thing works so easy. Even has a midget stove in it. What can you not do with a midget stove? I'm telling you that, oh, you don't believe me? Okay. Yeah, I know. It's like the size of a wedding ring and everything, a little bitty tiny bag, but I'm telling you, it is a midget stove. Improper? Tiny stove then. We'll call it a micro stove. Yes, it is. Micro stove. You can tell I've used it because it's changed colors. Bright. Yes, it is. Why would it do that, John? I don't know. I believe it's because it's titanium and it changes all kinds of colors depending on the heat value. That's what you find out here on Augie Outdoors, baby. Yeah.